Hi, this is Suzanne from Monster Tail by Tunes Design, the makers of Rainbow Loom. Today I'll be showing you how to make the Criss-Cross Quadfish Bracelet. This is a 4-pin, 2-color design that will look like 2 striped fishtails loosely woven together. To make a standard 7-inch bracelet, you will need about 100 bands or approximately 15 bands per inch. You'll also need a Monster Tail loom, a Rainbow Loom hook, and a C-clip. Pick out your color scheme. You will need about 50 A-colored bands and 50 B-colored bands. Try not to use stretched out or used rubber bands, as this will affect the look of the bracelet. In this video, I'll be using teal and purple. Organize your bands into 2 piles, A and B, as I have done here. Pause the video here until you're ready to follow along. Now, let's get started. Position the loom so that the red mark is on your left side. The first step in making this bracelet will be placing an A-colored band between these 2 pins in the shape of a figure 8. You'll repeat this same step between these 2 pins. For the next layer, place 2 B-colored bands in a crisscross or X shape. You'll start from the upper pin and place your B-colored band like that, and then start from the bottom pin and place it like that. You'll make that X shape or crisscross. Then place 2 A-colored bands vertically between these 2 sets of pins, and then these 2. Now you have 3 layers of bands on each pin. The A-colored bands will always be placed in 2 straight rows, and your B-colored bands will always be placed in the crisscross or X shape. Once 3 bands are on each of the pins, it's time to start looping. Position your loom so that the red mark is on the left, and you'll lift the bottom band on each pin over the top of that pin. So you do that. Flip that one over, turn your loom, lift the bottom band over, and do that again, then reposition your loom. The next bands to be placed will be B-colored bands, and those will always be placed in the crisscross shape. After you add a row of bands, you'll need to lift the bottom row up and over each pin. Now you're ready to repeat the pattern again. Push your bands down, and then place 2 A-colored bands in the straight rows. And then lift the bottom band up and over each pin. Next, place 2 B-colored bands in the crisscross shape. And then lift the bottom band up and over each pin. I'll show you this pattern one more time. Place the 2 A-colored bands on the loom, lift the bottom band up and over each pin, and then place 2 B-colored bands in the crisscross. And then lift the bottom band up and over each pin. Repeat this pattern until the bracelet is long enough to wrap around your wrist. I'll show you how you can figure this out. You put your wrist down over the bracelet, bring it up over, and then bring your loom up to touch it. Once the loom is able to touch the end of your bracelet, you've reached the correct length. You may want to pause the video here until you're ready to finish your bracelet. When you have found a place to stop, you will need to follow a few steps to finish your bracelet. You're at a place where you can finish your bracelet when you have 2 bands on each pin. Lift the bottom band up and over on each of the pins to leave 1 band on each pin. And then you can pull your bracelet down and get that tight. And then you'll bring each of these bands over to one pin. Bring that one up and over. Bring this one over. And then carefully bring this one over, making sure it lays flat. You have all 4 bands around that pin. Slide your hook down through there, get all the bands on your hook, and then stretch them over to the next pin. This is the area where you can attach your C-clip. Slide your C-clip over those bands, making sure that every band is caught in there. Then you're able to lift that up. Secure your bands on one end of the C-clip, and then on your other end, use your hook to get all 4 of your starter bands over your hook. Pull it to separate it, and then slide your finger through all of those bands. And then grab this end, slide it over those bands, and there you've finished your Criss-Cross Quadfish Bracelet.